Welcome, Virgo and Virgo cross watchers, to your mini weekly reading. So I hope you guys have had a great weekend, and thank you for stopping by my channel. So we have the Temperance at the bottom of the deck and the Seven of Pentacles here. This is from a new deck. It's the Tarot of the New Vision, so you'll see some different images on the cards. So, Virgo, I actually feel like you are feeling like you succeeded even though you were abandoned. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. It's almost like you may have been led to believe, in some instance, right, that you were going to be given some help, but I feel like you finished the task, you completed the goal, whatever it is that needed to be done, you did it before help could arrive. And I feel like it's almost like there's this energy here that just kind of passes. I don't know how else to say this. It's somebody dropped the ball. I feel like you were supposed to get the help, but it's almost like somebody got waylaid, somebody got, it's almost like it was a delay that nobody saw coming. And I feel like whoever was delayed obviously feels pretty bad. But what's, peculiar about that is like, okay, they feel bad for kind of having not been there, but it's almost like they're late for everything. And they just kind of pass over like, oh, well, Virgo did it on their own, so I'm just going to keep going. And I feel like they don't kind of stop and check in, and it seems to put you in this mode where it almost feels like you don't really want to talk to anybody. You know what I mean? And it's not out of anger. It's not out of frustration even. It feels more like it's out of almost a melancholic sort of energy, if that makes sense. It's almost like you're being faced with a sobering reality about the world. And I feel like it's almost like while you're contemplating that or making peace with it, it just feels like there's no desire to talk right now. So I think we're going to get maybe a clarifier on that, just looking at which deck to use here. Can we get a clarifier? What came in? What's behind Virgo now? So we have the Hanged Man and the Five of Wands here is what's behind you. I kind of want to pull cards for what's in front of you, but I'm not sure it's even, I almost want to say, I'm not sure you even care right now, With this combination here, it just actually feels like it's kind of a repeat of the message that was here, right? Like somebody was tied up. They were supposed to come and help you, and you had to carry the load on your freaking own. I want to say like, again. Right? And it feels like there's this energy here. I want to be really clear, okay? It's not like victim mentality or, it's kind of this woe is me, pity party garbage, right? It just feels like it's this sobering reality of feeling like you are truly alone on the, plane or field of life that you operate on. You know what I mean? And it's almost this energy of like, it's not like you're looking at yourself like nobody else gets it, right? But nobody that you're connected with right now gets it, if that makes sense, right? So it's not like you're acting like your life is the worst ever, right? You're looking at it realistically, feeling like maybe there's people in your life, but that doesn't mean you don't feel alone, right? And I feel like you're able, for those of you that may ride public transit, it's almost like you're sitting there feeling that kind of energy, and you're looking around realizing that like there's this whole, I want to say like bus full of people, and everybody might be in their own situation that would parallel yours, right? So it's not like you're sitting there thinking like this, woe is me. You're just looking at the world in a different way that, I'm going to be honest, doesn't seem, it would be a really difficult transition for anybody to move into an energy that you're moving into, or that it's almost like accepting defeat, but not that you personally were defeated. It's almost like, may not be the actual situation, okay, but it's almost like here you were trying to change the freaking world, and it's almost like you've accepted that the world, you could change it, but not if the world doesn't want to change, if that makes sense. So I think we are going to pull a card from this other deck here. Just going to make sure it's upright for what's coming up for you. Hold on for a second. I feel like you don't want to know that, so that's okay. Can we do, what do you need to hear? What's the best message? Hold on for a second. What does Virgo need to know to help explain this? What does Virgo need to know for more clarity about this situation? Feels like you're not really even looking to the future and this and like, oh, I need to know what's around the other side. It almost feels like you're looking at this situation, wanting a deeper understanding of it. You're not finished kind of sorting through all the pieces, right? You're still unraveling that yarn. So, further explanation. We have I know this reading is getting long for the minis. I'm sorry. I'll try to keep it brief. We have Judgment and the Five of Pentacles. So, I feel like I'm not trying to blow smoke up your behind, okay? Let me be really clear. It almost feels like you may be looking at this as a necessary rite of passage down the road. But hang on. But it's like, yeah, maybe you needed to learn that lesson, but did it have to be so bad? Did it have to be, like, it didn't really need to be, and this is energy I'm picking up from you, is even down the road you look at it like, it didn't need to be that bad for me to get the lesson. You didn't have to strip everything from me for me to get it. Right? So I feel like you're just looking at this like, I feel like even a little bit down the road, maybe you'll obviously have made more peace with the situation because you're dealing with it. You're not running from it. But I feel like you still may look at it like it just didn't need to be that bad. You would have got the lesson, or you would have picked up whatever you needed. And I just want to say, okay, me personally, this is my own personal opinion, so throw it out the window if you want. I don't really think that the higher power would give you really horrible situations just so you can learn to be stronger for the next horrible situation. You know what I mean? It's almost like giving you a gift but punishing you for it first, right? Me personally, I don't really buy into that sort of thing. I do feel that someone was supposed to be here to make it easier for you. And I feel like, and that person dropped the ball. And it's almost like, and unfortunately, I want to say like, that's the way the cookie crumbled here, right? Somebody else was supposed to shoulder some of this load with you, but they didn't. And it's almost made you feel like you're kind of walking in this dark cave and you haven't given up. Right? But it almost feels like the light's behind you, not in front of you. It's almost like you may have felt, you know how the light at the end of the tunnel sort of saying? It's like you may have thought that it would be this thing, but you got there and it was almost blinding, right? It feels like you may have felt very out of place. But whatever it was, it feels like it's something that you're leaving behind you for right now. Hold on for a second. It does feel like for some of you, you may not want to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway, because this is what I'm feeling. For some of you, it doesn't feel like you are right now, But there is the potential for you to get into that kind of victim mentality if you're not careful. And I feel like that's, for some of you, part of it could be that, if you're in that phase where you're not really feeling like you want to talk to anybody, it's almost like nobody knows that you need support if you're not telling them, right? And it's almost like you seem to, for some of you, you may have wanted to keep this inside, right? It's almost like you didn't want to let it out and let people know, I want to say, that you're not perfect. And that's not a like, I'm trying to be a jerk with saying that, or trying to, it's almost like, let's say, for example, you're a perfectionist and you expect perfection from yourself, and you don't, that's who you are, that's who you want to be, and you're not going to project anything but, and it feels like, and it's almost like you feel like you somehow have defeated yourself. And I feel like the message here is hard no, okay? I'm not trying to catch an attitude, but I am. Because I feel like it's important to recognize that what you just went through, the reason you felt like you were stripped of everything is because it was supposed to be, two people carrying that boulder, not one. That's why it was so hard. So, you might not want to hear this either. If I was going through this, I'd probably tell me to, hit the road for YouTube. I feel like there is going to be, the energy that you put out comes back to you. I feel like what's happened here, the energy that you have put out will come back to you, but I feel like it takes some time. I'm not going to lie to you and say like, oh, it's going to be, your reward is right around the corner. I feel like it's a little bit away. It's almost like, not that you wouldn't recognize the reward, but I feel like you're in such a tough energy that you almost kind of wouldn't be able to enjoy it. So it's not like it's being held back for this reason or that reason. It just feels like somehow you managed to finish something sooner than expected, right? It's like if the powers that be saw that you were doing something on your own that should have taken two people and you finished it in less time than two people would have taken, right? And so people are looking at you like, okay, well, that's great and that's going to be dealt with, but right now there's something else that's taking precedence. I feel like you're somebody that people, some people are that one that kind of takes care of everybody else, but because they project such a high level of like capability in life that people just don't think to check in. People don't think to be like, hey, Virgo, are you okay? Right? It feels like that type of an energy. I feel like some of you may be responsive to it. I feel like others of you would kind of not take advantage of that offer of support. And no one's telling you to, right? I can't make you. You make your own decisions. It just feels like, I feel like I'm rambling. Sorry, guys. It feels like for some of you, maybe not all of you, but you went through this, you pushed that freaking boulder up the hill by yourself. And it's almost like, and in that, you also seem to want to do the healing and recovery from said boulder by yourself. And it's not coming from like, oh, woe is me. It just feels like, it's almost like you need a break from the energy I'm picking up from you, right? This isn't me telling you this or the cards telling you this. This is what I'm feeling from you. That you just feel like you kind of need a break from people, from the hustle and bustle and all of that kind of madness that seems to have become, regular society. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. I wish I could end with some sort of positive note. I hope that this reading has helped. If at the very least brought you some clarity or made you feel understood a little bit more. I love you guys. I'll be thinking of you this week. See you next time. Bye.